Moral, Social and Cultural Studies, Grade 5, Volume 2, Lesson 1, Classical Civilizations, East and West. From this lesson, we are mainly discussing about how did civilizations change from the ancient period to the classical period. Why would classical civilizations come into conflict with each other? Key vocabularies of classical, civilization, empire, conflict. Once again, welcome you all the wonderful session. Lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will identify key classical civilizations, explain what makes a civilization classical. The lesson begins with a warm-up activity. Write the names of ancient civilizations and write what are the important things happened during the periods. Here I added some of the important things happened during each civilization. You can add more points. The four ancient civilizations are Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, and ancient Chinese civilization. Classical period 800 BCE to 600 CE. The period of the time between 800 BC and 600 CE in the Mediterranean and surroundings is called the Classic period. During the Classic period, empires grew larger and became more structured. Government, city planning, transport, and the military became even more important than in the ancient period. In the classical period, trade became more important as cities and populations became bigger. In the ancient period, the Egyptians of the Nile Valley, the Sumerians in Mesopotamia, and Minoans of the Mediterranean Sea established civilizations and formed societies and evolved. From about 500 BC, other civilizations grew. They included the Greek city-states, the Roman Republic in Europe, and the Persian Empire in the Near East. In the Far East, the Zhou dynasty. The Zhou dynasty began in China. On the Indian subcontinent, regional kingdoms were formed. The Minoan civilizations was a Bronze Age Aegean civilization on the island of Crete and other Aegean islands. Whose earliest beginnings were from 3500 BC and then declined from 1450 BC until it ended around 1100 BC during the early Greek Dark Ages. Who established the Gupta Empire in India and when? Chandragupta I, King of India, region 320 to 330 century, and founder of the Gupta Empire. Kush Kingdom in Sudan, now and South Egypt. Man and bear civilization in Central America, the Greek city-states, the Roman Republic, the Persian Empire. The Roman Empire. By 200th century, 700 years later, the Roman Empire stretched all around all of the Mediterranean Sea from South Europe to North Africa. It split into two parts, the Eastern Empire, the Western Empire. In China, there were two large empires, the Northern Empire, the Southern San Empire. They included the Greek city-states, the Roman Republic, and the Persian Empire in Europe and the Near East. In the Far East, the Zhou dynasty began in China. On the Indian subcontinent, regional kingdoms were formed. In Africa, the Kush kingdoms were growing in what is now Sudan and South Egypt. In Central America, the Mayan Empire civilization was established. By 200th century, 700 years later, the Roman Empire stretched around all of the Mediterranean Sea from South Europe to North Africa. In China, the Han dynasty took over with more land than before. Near the end of the classical period in 500th century, the Roman Empire split into two parts, the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire covered the area from Greece to Egypt in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea. The Persian Empire continued to grow in India. The Gupta Empire came into power. In China, there were two large empires, the Northern Wei Empire and the Southern San Empire. As the classical civilizations developed and grew, they often came in contact with each other. This helped spread things like trade, learning, and the movement of people. At times, the contact led to conflicts and war. Okay, let's check your understanding. Roman Empire split into three parts. Stage one entity split into two parts. The correct option, yes, you are right. Split into two parts. They are the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Empire. Great. Classical period between 800 BC and 600 C. The Stone Age period between 800 BC and 1000 CE. Yes, you are right. Between 800 BC and 600 CE. Very good. During the classical period, transport and military became unimportant. didn't change, or more important? Yes, very good. More important. Yes, during the period, trade became more important as cities and population became bigger, and the government, city planning, transport, and the military became even more important than in the ancient period. Very good. From the reading are the sentences below true or false. Ancient civilizations were bigger than classical civilization. So true or false? False. Classical civilizations were only found in Europe and Asia. True or false? False. Contact between classical civilizations was always peaceful. True or false? False. In 200th century, classical civilizations disappeared from Europe. True or false? False. Activity 2. The text lists some things that became more important as civilization grew in size. What are the reasons these things became more important? Government. Government became big in structure and strong in nature because population became bigger. Cities. To settle big number of population, demand of larger cities increased. Military. All the time, contact between different empires led to conflict and war. More army troops were required to tackle the conflict. Trade. Spread of empires and increase in population encouraged people to travel more and exchange goods with other areas. Next, some map activity. The reading describes different classical civilizations around the world at different times during the classical period. Use the information in the text to color in the civilization on the world map. This information will help you out to complete the map activity. Go through this. What changes did you notice as you filled in the civilization? Here I added some points. You can add more points. Empires grew bigger. Governments became more structured. City and town planning. Bigger armies. Expanded trade routes. Increase in population. The reading mentions two civilizations at the time of from Africa and Central America. This civilization will be covered in more detail in later grades. For now, try to find at least facts about the civilization. What were they like? What did they develop? How long did their civilization last? It's a research activity. Did we achieve our goals? So check. Thank you.